What's up guys, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. Now from the title of the video, I'm sure you already know what we are talking about today, and this video is in no way to tell you whether or not to buy a manual car or to tell you what kind of car you should buy when you get to the UK or you should drive when you get to the UK. This is purely me sharing my experience as a new driver. Really, that's what I was, or I am, sharing my experience as a new driver in the United Kingdom with driving a manual car in the past few months. So I'll be sharing my experience, what it has been like, and if I will get a manual car again. Yeah, really what I think about driving manual car in the United Kingdom in this age and time in 2022, or whether you are watching this in 2023. If you are new here, welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. If you like my content, please like this video, leave me comments in the comment section, and share this video with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe. And if you're a returning subscriber, thank you guys so much for always coming back to watch my videos. With anything new that you are learning, it's always challenging at first. It always seems difficult and all that at the beginning when you're trying to learn. I remember the very first lesson that I had with my driving instructor then. I was like, God, will I be able to drive a manual car? Will I be able to, in fact, will I be able to drive at all? It seems like one mountain in front of me, but I know that I needed to learn to drive because driving is important to my life. So I know that I really needed to learn to drive, and that's actually gave me the drive to continue with the lesson. And then at some point, as I continued learning and you know, gaining control of the car and getting how the car works and how the road signs and everything, you know, how the system works, it became more and more and more interesting. And I will say that if you are driving back home already before coming into the UK, getting a car to drive in the UK, or deciding what kind of car or what kind of transmission of car to actually drive, may not be a big question for you, because of course you're already driving back home in Nigeria or wherever you're coming from, so you will likely continue with that transmission type when you get to the UK. But if you are a new driver and you know, you've not been driving where you're coming from and you're in the UK now, you feel like it's time for you to start driving in the UK, of course one of the questions that you ask yourself is, what kind of a car am I going to buy? What kind of a car am I going to be driving? Is it manual? Is it automatic? For me, one of the reasons why I chose to buy a manual car and to learn to drive a manual car is because back home I was already learning. Yeah, I was already learning how to drive, and it was a manual car that I was learning. I had driven maybe 2-3 times on the major road in Nigeria before I came into the UK. So naturally I drifted to buying and learning to drive a manual car. However, I still went online to check whether, you know, I want to get an automatic car or I want to learn an automatic car. And by the time I got online, I actually saw that when you pass your driving test with automatic car, you're only limited to drive automatic car in the United Kingdom. You won't be able to drive manual car. However, when you learn to drive using a manual car, you are able to drive both manual car and automatic car, so you are not limited. So that kind of added a point to manual car or manual driving. I'm like, okay, let us do manual. I think manual would be the one. Then I spoke with my family, and then my dad was like, okay, go for manual. Of course it has more options, you'll be able to drive automatic car anyway, so why not just go for it? Well, okay, so at that point I was like, okay, yeah, let's go for manual. And I just went and registered for manual driving lessons, and that was how it all started. Another reason for me was the price point. Normally manual car involves a lot of effort, a lot of work. You are operating the gear, you are pressing the clutch, you are doing this at the same time, you are observing you are trying to control the car and everything. So basically, a manual car requires a lot of attention, requires you to be really present. You have to be observing, controlling the car and everything. It requires a lot of attention, while automatic car, on the other hand, is, as the word implies, automatic. It doesn't really require a lot of attention and effort as a manual car will require, and so the price point is different. So for a manual car, usually you find a manual car that is lesser. In fact, manual cars generally, I believe, are less costly, less pricey compared to automatic cars. Manual cars generally also are cheaper to maintain compared to automatic car. I mean, for manual cars, they have been around for a long time, so if you want to change anything in a car, you are more likely to get it compared to an automatic car, and it is likely to be less costly compared to an automatic car. And also, this price thing reflects on the driving lessons too, because by the time you start learning to drive, the cost for learning how to drive a manual car is actually different from the cost of learning to drive an automatic car. So automatic car is a bit higher than manual car, and basically you find more instructors who are willing to teach you manual cars compared to automatic. Now in the UK, learning to drive, I think I've mentioned it in one of my videos before, like, driving instructors are really balling in this UK. They are balling with our money. They are really balling. So if you are looking for like a side hustle or something and you are eligible, you can look into becoming a driving instructor. It's really cashing. It's paying. Gong giddy. It's paying, seriously. Now it is sometimes difficult to find a driving instructor. Like, I know that I documented my experiences and my challenges about getting instructors when I was trying to like start learning to drive. Now, getting an instructor who will teach you how to drive a manual car can be challenging, but getting an instructor who will teach you how to drive an automatic car is even much more challenging. So basically, I think that it's easier to find a manual car driving instructor compared to an automatic car driving instructor. That's notwithstanding, whatever car you decide to buy, whatever car you decide to learn to drive, at one point or the other, you will definitely find a suitable driving instructor who will be able to take you through. It might take long, but you will definitely find. So I don't think that should be a barrier to you saying you want to learn to drive automatic or manual. So you can choose whatever you want, and at the right time, I believe you'll find the right driving instructor to take you through. So at the time I was learning to drive, a manual car was around £25 per hour. Not really 25, I think 26, 27 pounds per hour. And if you want to do a block booking of 10 lessons per time, it will be around £250 for a block of 10 lessons, a block of 10 hours. So it then means that for you to actually learn to drive an automatic car, you get to pay higher, slightly higher, maybe 27, 28, 30. It actually depends on the area of the UK that you are. It might be higher in the south compared to the north, so it depends on which area you are in. Now that you are already learning how to drive a car, of course, definitely at one point or the other you'll have to buy your own car, and that was the point that I was at a time. I mean, sometimes last year, and I was like, okay, it's time to buy my car. I want to buy my own car, and I went online searching and all that before I decided to buy my car. What actually made me to buy that car, like it was the color. I was actually looking out for a red car, but then I saw this car and I'm like, I mean, you just know, I'm like, this is my car. Like, this is it, and that was it. So it was a manual, it was not automatic. Probably if it was an automatic car, maybe I would have switched. Honestly, that was how much I love the color of my car. Maybe I would have switched, but it was a manual car, so it was even a more reason for me to go ahead or continue to learn to drive a manual car. Do I regret buying a manual car? honestly, sometimes I just see majorly, you know, when I'm in someone's car that's an automatic car and I see the ease at which they drive, and I mean there's no throwing of gear, there's no pressing of clutch at the same time throwing gear, at the same time watching, and at the same time controlling the car and everything. Like manual car just involves a lot of effort. I was speaking with one of my friends some weeks back, and we were like, we should really make a video and, you know, talk about this thing, talk about driving manual, driving automatic. Like, why are people still driving manual car in this age and time and all that? So you might think, should you really be driving a manual car in 2022? I would say that the choice is entirely yours. So apart from the fact that manual cars are relatively cheaper compared to automatic cars, it is still your choice, because for an automatic car you get some kind of comfort, and you get to enjoy some relaxation while driving, while for manual you are driving and you know that you are driving. I mean, I've met some people that actually tell me, they are guys actually, and they tell me that if you see a man driving an automatic car, that man is lazy. Ego, is it true? I know it's not true, it's a joke actually, but like, some people really find automatic cars boring, especially guys. They find automatic car boring. They believe that if you are driving a car and you are not throwing gear, you are not pressing clutch, you are not controlling it at the same time and all that, you are not driving. So they believe that automatic cars is for women, like it is women that came for soft life. So it is women that should be living soft life. A man should be throwing gear and driving manual and not automatic. Disclaimer, please, I do not agree with that. Like, everybody has the ability to choose what kind of soft life they are going to be living, so it should not be gender related. So overall, I will say I love the fact that I started driving with a manual car, and I love the fact that I'm able to actually change in the future and say, yes, I want to start driving automatic car. I have that luxury to say I can switch between driving manual and automatic. I know that some people will say that manual is getting outdated, it is going, there'll be no need to drive manual again in the nearest future, and you know, anyway, I shall love the fact that I was able to have that experience with a manual car, even though it was not the loveliest thing in the world. Especially at the beginning, it was not funny at all. Like, it was not. But I'm happy that I went through that experience, and yeah, so please let me know in the comment section, what do you think? Are you driving already? Are you driving a manual, or you're driving an automatic? If you are still trying to figure out which one you want to drive, which one are you likely to go for? Do you think you're going to be going for a manual car or an automatic car? And do you also believe that manual car is for the males? Like, females are not supposed to be driving a manual car. They are supposed to be doing the soft life with automatic car. Please let me know in the comment section, guys. Don't forget to like this video, leave your comments in the comment section. I really want to read from you. I want us to interact, I want us to deliberate on this topic. Let me know what your thoughts are. Like this video, leave me a comment below, share my videos, and subscribe if you like my content. Thank you so much once again for watching, and I'll see you in this video showing on your screen all about driving in the United Kingdom. Bye.